Diplomacy, of course, is very important, as you might expect. The AI controls pretty much every other country in the world, besides your own, and you don't want to take the AI off too much, or else it's going to keep messing with you, sending spies, declaring war, that sort of thing. But you can also make the AI work to your advantage if you keep them diplomatically appeased. Of course, sometimes you don't want to, in which case the diplomatic interface also allows you to go to war. So what we'll do is we'll just take a look at what these diplomats do. Now, diplomats are needed to do anything, and we can get certain bonuses from our ruler, from our religion, from how much prestige we have, and that gives us more diplomats a year. Still, they're a finite resource, so sooner or later you're going to run out, and while you're running out, you can only listen to people's ideas. You can't propose new ones of your own. So if you're at war, you always want to at least have one diplomat handy in case you need to quickly make a peace offer. Right. So, we can't click on our own kingdom because that just brings up all our provinces. We need to click on another country so that we can get the diplomatic interface here. Now, over on this side, we've got the coat of arms and the name of the kingdom. We've also got the type of government. In this case, it's kingdom, and if we hover over, we see that it's a feudal monarchy, which is pretty much the same thing we're going to have at this point in time. We can see how stable the country is. Scotland's at +1, just like us. It can go up to +3, it can go down to -3. If you're looking to prey on somebody when they're very unstable, that can be nice. You can also see their prestige and their rank in the world. Down here we have the options, which I'll go over. Over here in the middle, we have BAR, which covers their national ideas. Scotland, it seems, has national conscripts, Bill of Rights, superior seamanship, and merchant adventures. So it's got a decent balance between military strength and trade and diplomatic stuff. So it's not a very aggressive nation, but it's definitely not going to be easy to fight because the national conscripts are going to give them more manpower. On the far left side, we've got the name of their leader. The king part is just in terms of changes depending on the government type. So Scotland, which is a monarchy, is a kingdom. Let's see. The Hanseatic League is a merchant republic, so it has a stadthalter, which is, I guess, I don't know, a funny word that they've got. And then we've got their stats. Now, as you can see, different nations have different stats, and they're represented by a number of stars as to the quality of their leader. So the stars don't totally and accurately represent the actual values, so you can hover over them to see. For instance, King Stuart, or King James V Stuart, has a diplomatic skill of 4, even though it's only displayed here as 1 star. He has an administrative skill of 6, even though it's got 3 stars, and a military skill of 5, which has 2 stars. It's a little confusing. So it's always better to just look over the tooltip, because these values can tell you exactly what they mean. So Stuart is his family name, and he's got a different family name than ours, although in real history the Stuarts would eventually become kings of England. And he's the 5th in his line. The game right now is looking at the historical James V. Once the game starts going, of course, that can change depending on random names for heirs, things like that. Below that, we get some of the more important details. We've got the relations, we've got the opinion of people, their opinion, and trust. So let's go over these one by one. First of all, relations go from -200 to 200. -200 means they hate your guts, 200 means they like you, but that's not the only thing. Still, if you have really high relations, we've got 110, which is good, but it's not great. Really high relations can make the AI less likely to want to go to war with you. But doesn't mean they won't. And if they do, it drops automatically to -200, so it kind of wipes out all of the effort you may have put into sucking up to them. Neutral basically means that the infamy is not so great. Infamy is basically how much bad things you've been up to. Right now, nobody has any infamy, so we don't feel too bad about how much they've been up to, and they don't feel too bad about what we've been up to. But if we went around conquering everybody in sight, they might start disliking us somewhat. Their reputation is honorable, which means they don't have much infamy either. So right now, neither one of us has any particular reason to be mad at each other, short of just not liking each other. They're willing to trust us somewhat. Trust is a little different. It's not based on relationships. It's based on previous dealings with somebody. Trust is basically a modifier that determines whether people will be willing to agree to long-term deals. For instance, if we if Scotland doesn't trust us because we break treaties or we cancel alliances, things like that, then they're going to be less likely to make an alliance or a trade offer in the future. But they might make one-time deals like guarantees or things like that, because they don't see those as something that's a long-term problem. Below that, we have their primary culture. They're Scottish. And if we hover over here, we see that Scottish is in the British group, probably much to the chagrin of Scots. The same culture group as the English and the Americans, although there is no American culture right now in 1520. But these people are within the same culture group, so there's less penalties for having provinces like that. So if we were to conquer Scotland, the Scottish wouldn't be as happy about it as the English, but they'd be happier than a lot of people would. Happier than the Welsh and the Irish, anyway, who are in a different culture group. We have their religion on the left. As we can see, they're Catholic, and pretty much all of Europe is going to be Catholic, so I'd need to go down here to, say, the Ottoman Empire to see a Sunni Muslim icon there. And, of course, everywhere else in the world has quite a large number of different religions, but for now, we only have the ones that we can see. We've also got their tech levels, for military tech, at least. We can see others in the ledger, but for now, this is just an at-a-glance look at their military force. Scotland has land technology and naval technology at 17. As England, so do we. So we're pretty evenly matched technologically. We probably have about the same access to units. So nothing too exciting on that front. A military war would basically come down to who has the best troops and the most troops. Of course, Scotland, with national conscripts, may have more troops than us, since as England, our national ideas are mostly focused on navy and technology. Okay. Below this, we have a long little list here that shows all of the various relationships that Scotland has. For instance, according to this, Scotland is allied with France, which means if they go to war, one of them will probably bring the other one in. That's what happened to us in the trade thing when France declared war on us. Scotland decided to declare war as well. Thanks to the Bill of Rights, Scotland has a liberation casus belli on all countries that can release states, so they could actually declare war on us to try and release Wales, which they may try to do, but they're unlikely to succeed. It views England, Tyrone, Connaught, and Leinster as natural rivals. This is basically just kind of an AI setting. The AI looks at which countries pose the greatest threat to it in its general area, and it decides to treat those as rivals and be a little suspicious of them. So it views us as suspicious. Then there's threatened, which is similar, but threatened is a little more direct. They're more careful about military technology and operations with anyone they feel threatened by. Since Scotland only borders England and we only border Scotland, basically they're the only ones that threaten us and we're the only ones that threaten them. If we were a country like France, pretty much everybody on our border would feel threatened by us because, of course, France is so big and so strong. Of course, just because they feel threatened doesn't mean they're not willing to be diplomatic. They just don't want to. Down here are the boxes for their advisors. It looks like Scotland does not have any advisors right now. Some countries do. France does. But these are historical advisors, and once the game starts, they'll probably hire some regular advisors. Down here we have the spy interface. That's something separate, and right now we don't have any spies, but if we did, we could click this to open the spy interface. One final feature is that we can click this and see a relation matrix. If we click on nation, we can organize the nations alphabetically. If we click on relation, we can choose to view all the states that Scotland likes, either by ascending or descending order. So they don't like Tunisia much. They do like France and the Pope a lot, and they like us a decent amount.